The year was quiet, at least on Earth. People worked, laughed, and lived normal lives. Cities glowed with lights, oceans rolled with calm waves, and the world seemed peaceful. But above the clouds, far beyond the moon, something moved. A shadow, larger than mountains, slid across the darkness of space. It was not a comet. It was not a starship humans had built. It was an armada, an alien fleet, hundreds of ships strong, each burning with silver fire. The aliens were known across galaxies as conquerors. They had crushed many worlds, enslaved countless species, and never lost a battle. To them, Earth was just another target. A small blue planet, a weak world, a place easy to break. In their command ship, the alien leader looked down at Earth through glowing red screens. His voice was cold. "These creatures are primitive," he said. "They have weapons that use fire and metal. They still fight each other. They are not united. They will fall in days." His generals laughed. To them, this was not a war. This was a hunt. But far below, humanity was not laughing. Strange signals had already been picked up by satellites. Scientists in hidden laboratories had warned leaders around the world. Something is coming. Military bases received quiet orders. Naval fleets vanished from ports. Planes disappeared into the clouds. The ordinary people of Earth went on with their daily lives, but governments were preparing for something they had always feared: first contact. And in the dark meeting rooms of Earth, the leaders said only one thing: "If they come as friends, we will welcome them. But if they come as enemies, they will never return." The alien fleet moved closer. Cities around the world saw strange lights at night. News channels reported unexplained sightings in the sky. Some thought it was a trick. Others thought it was a joke. But in the silence of military bunkers, the truth was known. Earth was about to be tested. As the first alien ship broke through the atmosphere, the skies lit up with fire. People stopped in the streets, looking up, mouths open. A ship so huge it covered the sun hovered above the clouds. Its shadow swallowed entire cities. Then came the message. A voice, cold and sharp, echoed across every device: phones, radios, televisions. It spoke in perfect English, perfect Chinese, perfect Arabic, perfect Spanish. The aliens had studied humanity well. "People of Earth," the voice declared, "we come as your new rulers. Your world now belongs to us. Do not resist. Submit, and you may live." Fear spread through the streets. Families held each other. Children cried. Some believed it was the end. But humanity did not bow. Instead, silence filled the planet. No reply came. The aliens thought Earth was terrified. They believed humans had no answer. The alien commander sneered. "They are weak," he said. "We will crush them quickly." What he did not know was that humanity had been preparing for decades. Wars between nations had taught them to build weapons of great power. Secret technologies had been hidden away, waiting for a moment like this. And unlike any other species the aliens had faced, humanity carried something no one could measure: unity in the face of danger. High above, satellites shifted their orbits. Submarines moved silently under oceans. Hidden bases powered up weapons no alien had ever seen before. The first contact had been made. The first threat had been spoken. Now the first mistake was about to happen. Because the aliens thought Earth was weak. But weakness was not what they would find. It was strength. It was defiance. It was humanity. And soon the galaxy would learn a truth carved into history. Those who fought humanity never returned. The alien fleet now floated like a crown of fire above Earth. Dozens of ships lined the sky, their silver hulls glowing against the clouds. On the ground, people gathered in parks, rooftops, and open fields, staring upward in fear and wonder. For many, it felt unreal, like a dream. But the truth was harsh. Humanity was no longer alone. The alien commander stood inside his warship, his eyes fixed on the blue planet below. His voice carried through every ship in the fleet. These creatures are fragile. Their world is unprotected. Within days we will crush them. Their cities will burn. Their oceans will boil. They will kneel before us. His soldiers roared in agreement, ready for the hunt. Down on Earth, governments remained silent. No reply came to the alien broadcast. The invaders mistook this silence for weakness. They thought humans were afraid. They thought surrender was near. But the silence was not fear. It was preparation. Across the planet, secret command centers buzzed with quiet energy. World leaders had already agreed. If the aliens came as rulers, they would be answered as enemies. Orders passed swiftly through encrypted channels. Submarines slipped into the deep ocean, invisible to any radar. Satellites changed their positions in orbit, preparing to blind the alien fleet. Hidden airfields released dark, triangular aircraft, machines the public had never seen before. Earth was holding its breath. Then, the first alien landing craft descended. It pierced the clouds with a burning trail, slamming into the desert sands of Nevada. The ground shook as its metal legs unfolded. The ramp lowered, and tall alien warriors stepped onto Earth for the first time. Their armor gleamed, their weapons crackled with blue energy. A small group of humans stood waiting, soldiers chosen to make the first contact. They carried no weapons in their hands, but their faces were steady. Cameras captured every second, broadcasting across the world. The alien leader stepped forward, his voice cold. "You will kneel," he commanded. "You will serve, resist, and you will die." The soldiers did not kneel. They did not move. One man standing in the front spoke calmly. His words echoed across the world. "This is Earth. We do not kneel." The alien leader hissed with anger. His troops raised their weapons. Blue lights sparked, ready to fire. For a heartbeat, silence filled the desert. And then, the ground itself roared. Hidden doors opened in the sand, revealing missile launchers disguised beneath. Jets thundered low across the sky, their engines screaming. The first strike came from Earth, not from fear, but from defiance. Explosions ripped through the desert. Alien warriors staggered as fire swallowed their landing craft. Soldiers of Earth charged forward, their rifles blazing. The aliens had come expecting surrender, but what they found was resistance. High above, the alien commander watched in shock. His screen showed burning wreckage and fallen soldiers. He had expected the humans to break. Instead, they fought like predators. "They dare attack us?" one alien general growled. The commander's red eyes narrowed. "They are stronger than we thought. But no matter, we will crush them harder." But deep inside his voice, a flicker of unease grew. For the first time, the conquerors felt something they had never felt before: uncertainty. On Earth, the people watched with wide eyes. Fear turned into pride. The images of humans standing against giants filled screens across the planet. Ordinary men and women cheered, their voices rising like thunder. The world was no longer divided by nations. In that moment, Earth was one. Humanity had made its choice. The aliens had asked for submission. Instead, they received war. And as the first battle raged in the desert, one truth became clear. This fight would not be easy, this war would not be short. But humanity would not bow, not now, not ever. The desert burned with fire. Smoke rose into the sky as explosions echoed across the sands. Alien warriors, tall and armored, struggled to stand against the sudden storm of Earth's defense. Their glowing weapons fired blue bolts that scorched the ground, but the humans did not retreat. Soldiers of Earth fought with discipline and fury. Tanks rolled out from hidden shelters, their cannons roaring. Jets streaked overhead, unleashing missiles that struck with deadly precision. For every alien weapon, there was a human answer, loud, fast, and unstoppable. The first landing craft was in ruins. The desert floor was littered with alien bodies, their silver armor cracked and broken. Humanity had drawn first blood. High above in the command ship, the alien leader slammed his clawed fist against the control panel. His eyes glowed red with rage. "Impossible!" he roared. "These creatures were supposed to be weak. They should have fallen in moments." His generals muttered uneasily. For centuries, no species had ever resisted them. Yet here, on this small blue world, their soldiers were being cut down. "Commander!" one general hissed. "Should we send the second wave?" The leader's voice dripped with anger. "Send them all! Burn their cities! Show them why we are feared!" The order was given. Across the sky, more alien ships descended. Massive vessels opened their bays, releasing swarms of landing craft. Like falling stars, they streaked toward Earth, toward forests, mountains, and cities. The invasion had begun. On the ground, humanity braced itself. Sirens wailed in cities around the globe. Civilians rushed into shelters. Soldiers prepared their weapons. Leaders gave one command: hold the line. In New York, alien ships hovered between skyscrapers, their shadows covering the streets. But hidden missile batteries fired from rooftops, striking the invaders. The sky above the city erupted into fire. In Moscow, tanks rolled through the streets as alien warriors charged forward. Soldiers fought side by side, every shot echoing with defiance. In Tokyo, the night sky lit up with tracer fire as jets weaved between alien craft, blasting them from the heavens. Everywhere, humanity resisted. The aliens, furious and confused, fought with their advanced energy weapons. Their blasts tore through buildings and scorched the ground. Yet for every human who fell, more rose to take their place. In a small village in Africa, farmers armed with old rifles stood beside soldiers, firing at the towering invaders. In South America, guerrilla fighters used the jungles as traps, ambushing alien patrols. For the first time, the conquerors saw something they had never faced before: an enemy that refused to break. The alien commander watched as battles raged across the planet. His eyes narrowed. "They fight with desperation," he muttered. "But desperation cannot stop us." Yet even as he spoke, reports came in: ships destroyed, soldiers lost, weapons failing. One general turned toward him, fear in his voice. "Commander, they are not like the others. They adapt. They resist. They fight as if they have nothing to lose." The commander's claws clenched. He refused to admit fear, but deep in his mind, he wondered if they had underestimated this world. Back on Earth, the battles grew fiercer. In the desert, alien reinforcements clashed with human tanks. Rockets streaked across the sky, blasting enemy craft apart. A young soldier dove for cover, firing at a towering alien that charged forward. His rifle spat bullets that pinged off armor. Just as the alien raised its glowing blade, another human leapt from behind, driving a knife into the alien's exposed neck joint. The giant fell with a roar. Moments like these repeated everywhere. Ordinary humans standing up against monsters, refusing to bow. And yet, the cost was high. Cities burned, streets collapsed. Thousands of lives were lost in the first days. Humanity bled, but it did not break. From the ashes of every battle, a single truth rose louder and louder: Earth would not surrender. In the command ship, the alien leader leaned forward, his voice a whisper filled with rage. "If they want war, then war they shall have." But as the stars burned with fire and the planet roared in defiance, even he knew this was no simple conquest. This was the beginning of a war the galaxy would never forget. The alien fleet tightened its grip around Earth. Massive warships floated in orbit, glowing like predators circling their prey. On the ground, cities burned and skies thundered with fire. The invaders believed the war was turning in their favor. But deep beneath Earth's surface, far from alien eyes, another story was unfolding. In hidden bunkers carved under mountains, giant doors slid open. Inside, secret chambers that had been silent for decades now came alive. Screens lit up, generators roared, weapons, long kept in shadows, awakened. Humanity had been preparing for this moment. For years, nations had fought each other. For years, wars had forced humans to invent machines of destruction. But after the Cold War, after silent treaties, after secret experiments, these weapons had been buried, not destroyed, only hidden. Now those weapons would be humanity's answer. In a base under the Rocky Mountains, generals stood before a glowing map of Earth. Red markers showed alien fleets spreading like fire across the globe. But green symbols began to appear. Human counterattacks. "Operation Shadow Spear is active," a voice announced. "All units are moving into position." Far above, satellites that had looked like harmless space junk suddenly shifted. Panels opened, revealing railguns powered by the Earth's magnetic field. With a single command, they fired, silent beams of metal slugs moving faster than sound. Alien ships in orbit shattered like glass, torn apart before they even realized what had hit them. In the oceans, black submarines rose from the depths. These were not ordinary submarines. Their missiles carried warheads built for one purpose: to blind enemy systems. Within minutes, electromagnetic pulses exploded in the skies, frying alien targeting sensors. The invaders' ships flickered, their weapons stuttering. For the first time, the predators hesitated. The alien commander slammed his fist against his chair. "What trick is this?" he roared. "Our systems are failing. How can primitives build such weapons?" His generals scrambled for answers, but none came. No species had ever fought them like this. No one had ever hidden weapons that could strike so hard, so fast. On the battlefield, humanity pushed forward. Soldiers cheered as alien weapons fell silent. Drones swarmed across the skies, guided by artificial intelligence, striking at enemy armor. Railgun cannons mounted on trucks tore through alien shields. In Europe, underground bunkers launched swarms of hypersonic missiles, weaving through the skies like angry wasps. Entire alien warships were ripped apart, their flaming wreckage crashing into fields and forests. In Asia, experimental plasma weapons, once thought impossible, burned through alien armor. And in America, prototype mechs, towering machines of steel, marched into battle for the first time. Pilots inside gritted their teeth as cannons thundered and blades of light clashed against alien giants. The aliens were stunned. They had studied Earth's old wars. They had seen nuclear weapons, fighter jets, and tanks. They thought that was all humanity had. But they had never seen the secret weapons built in silence, hidden away for the day humanity faced something greater than itself. The alien commander's red eyes narrowed. "They were preparing for us," he whispered. "All this time, they were preparing." On Earth, the battles raged harder than ever. In the deserts of Africa, alien machines advanced, only to be swallowed by hidden minefields. In the mountains of South America, guerrilla fighters guided drones from caves, tearing apart alien supply lines. Even in the smallest villages, people resisted. Old rifles fired beside new railguns. Farmers, workers, engineers, all stood as one. Humanity was no longer divided by borders or flags. They were one species, fighting for survival. And yet, the cost remained high. Cities lay in ruins. Millions were displaced. The Earth bled, but it was not defeated. Every strike of these hidden weapons carried a message. Humanity is not prey. Humanity is a predator. Inside the command ship, silence filled the alien council. Reports of losses poured in. Ships destroyed, soldiers dead, weapons useless. One general finally spoke, his voice trembling. "Commander, if this continues, we may not leave this planet alive." The commander's claws dug into the armrest. He refused to show fear, but his mind burned with the truth. The galaxy's greatest predators had made a mistake. They had come to Earth believing it was weak. Instead, they had awakened the strongest defense they had ever seen. And as the night sky burned with fire and steel, one thought echoed across the stars. Humanity's secret weapon was not just its machines. It was its will to fight. The world was burning, but humanity had not fallen. In every city, in every land, the people of Earth stood together. Soldiers, workers, farmers, engineers, each played their part in the greatest war the planet had ever faced. For the first time in history, Earth was united. The alien fleet had expected weakness. They had expected fear. But what they found was something they had never faced before: billions of humans rising as one. In the ruins of New York, firefighters carried rifles as they helped soldiers hold the line. In the forests of Brazil, villagers set traps that toppled alien walkers. In the deserts of Africa, tribes that once fought each other now shared weapons and fought side by side. Humanity's strength was not only its machines, it was its unity. The alien commander watched in disbelief as reports flooded his ship. "Our landing zones are lost in Asia," one officer shouted. "Entire battalions destroyed in Europe," another cried. "Commander, they are striking from everywhere at once. We cannot contain them." The commander's jaw tightened. "These creatures are not supposed to be strong," he growled. "They are supposed to kneel." But the truth was undeniable. For every alien soldier that landed, 10 humans rose to meet them. For every ship that hovered above a city, hidden weapons ripped it from the sky. This was no longer a conquest. It was survival, for both sides. In the mountains of Afghanistan, a group of alien patrols advanced cautiously. They had crushed many worlds before, but this terrain was strange and silent. Then, the silence shattered. Explosions ripped through the valley as hidden mines detonated. From the cliffs above, human fighters unleashed fire. The aliens tried to retreat, but narrow paths trapped them. Not one returned alive. In Europe, the streets of Paris were filled with smoke. Alien walkers marched through the ruins, their weapons burning. But as they turned a corner, they faced resistance they had not expected. Engineers, students, even musicians who had taken up arms. They fought with homemade bombs, stolen rifles, and raw courage. One alien officer sneered as his soldiers advanced, but then a sudden flash tore through the street. A railgun shell, fired from a hidden position, blasted his walker into pieces. The crowd of humans roared, their spirits unbroken. In Asia, entire cities worked as one machine. In Tokyo, citizens carried supplies to soldiers on the front lines. In Beijing, scientists unleashed new drones that swarmed the skies. In Delhi, thousands of volunteers joined to defend the city walls. Everywhere, humanity refused to surrender. The alien General Council gathered inside the command ship. The room was heavy with tension. "Commander," one general began nervously, "this resistance, it is unlike anything we have seen. They fight with technology, yes, but also with something else." The commander's eyes glowed red. "Something else?" The general nodded. "They fight with belief. They fight with fire in their hearts. They fight as though every man, every woman, every child is a soldier." Silence filled the room. None dared to speak further. On Earth, humanity's counterattacks grew bolder. Fleets of jets streaked across the Atlantic, ambushing alien carriers. Submarines struck from the deep, sending explosions ripping through the seas. Underground networks of fighters coordinated attacks across continents, striking aliens from every angle. The tide was turning. For the first time, the aliens began to retreat. Not far, not fully, but the predators were bleeding. In the ruins of London, a young girl hid in the rubble, clutching her younger brother. They were terrified, but they heard the sounds of humans shouting, guns firing, and alien machines falling. The girl whispered softly, "They will not take us. This is our world." That whisper spread across the planet. Every act of courage, every moment of resistance, fed into a single truth: humanity could not be broken. The alien commander stood in silence, his claws tight around the armrest of his chair. His fleet had never known defeat. His soldiers had never tasted fear. But now, he saw both. "Perhaps," he muttered, This world is not prey after all. The battles raged on. Cities still burned, skies still thundered, and blood still stained the earth. But for the first time since the invasion began, hope burned brighter than fear. Humanity had turned the tide, and the message was clear. For every step the invaders took, humanity would push them back harder. The war was far from over, but the outcome had shifted. The galaxy's greatest predators had just discovered their first true rival. The sky was black with smoke. Earth trembled as the alien fleet prepared its greatest assault. Every surviving warship, every soldier, every machine of war was summoned for one purpose: to crush humanity once and for all. The alien commander stood before his generals. His voice was cold and sharp. "This war has dragged too long. These humans resist more than any species we have faced. Tonight, we end them. One strike, one final storm. Not one human shall remain." The generals bowed, but fear flickered in their eyes. They had learned what their commander refused to admit. Humans were unlike any enemy they had faced. On Earth, word of the enemy's move spread fast. Governments, resistance leaders, and civilians all received the same message: the largest alien force is coming. Instead of fear, determination filled the air. In underground bunkers, engineers built new weapons with whatever they could salvage. In hidden bases, hackers prepared to blind the alien fleet's systems. In every city, men and women who had never held a weapon stepped forward to join the defense. Humanity was ready. The battle began in orbit. The alien fleet darkened the stars as they descended. Thousands of ships unleashed fire, raining destruction upon the planet. But humanity had prepared its trap. From hidden launch sites across the world, rockets fired into the skies. Satellites hacked into alien communications, sending confusion into their ranks. Human warships, once thought destroyed, emerged from hidden docks to strike from the shadows. The first wave of alien ships exploded before they even touched Earth. On the ground, the invasion was even more brutal. Alien machines landed in every major city. Walkers the size of towers stomped across streets, burning everything in their path. Soldiers with energy rifles cut down anyone who resisted, but the humans fought back with fury. In New York, skyscrapers became fortresses. Snipers fired from rooftops. Explosives hidden in subway tunnels brought down entire alien mechs. In Moscow, tanks rolled through the ruins, blasting alien walkers apart while civilians carried ammunition on foot. In Cairo, the pyramids stood tall as humans used them as strongholds, raining fire on the invaders who dared to come close. Everywhere, the same message echoed: "This is our home. We will not fall." The alien commander watched the chaos unfold from his flagship. His red eyes narrowed. "These creatures fight like demons," he muttered. But he would not stop. Not now. He ordered his most powerful weapon unleashed, a colossal warship, armed with a cannon capable of wiping out entire cities in a single blast. The weapon charged, glowing brighter than the sun. Its target, the heart of Earth's resistance. But humanity had seen it coming. Deep in a hidden base, scientists had built their own final weapon, a massive railgun hidden beneath the mountains. It had only one shot. If it failed, Earth would burn. As the alien superweapon prepared to fire, the railgun roared. A beam of pure energy tore through the sky and slammed into the alien warship. For a moment, silence. Then, the ship erupted into a fireball, its pieces falling like burning stars across the sky. The people of Earth cheered. For the first time, the invaders had lost their greatest weapon. But the battle was not over. Alien ground forces pressed harder, desperate to crush resistance before their fleet collapsed. In London, humans fought hand-to-hand in the streets, refusing to give an inch. In Tokyo, drones swarmed enemy lines, overwhelming them in the thousands. In the deserts of the Middle East, tribes on horseback charged alien patrols, striking fast and vanishing into the sand. Everywhere, the invaders were pushed back. The alien commander clenched his fists as reports poured in. His fleet was crumbling. His soldiers were dying. His empire's pride was breaking. "No!" he roared. "We are the hunters. They are prey. This cannot be." But deep inside, even he knew the truth. The galaxy's predators had met their match. As the sun rose over Earth, the last great wave of the alien army fell. Their ships, once unstoppable, burned in the skies. Their soldiers, once feared, lay broken across battlefields, and humanity, scarred, bloodied but unbroken, stood victorious. The final message spread across the galaxy. No one returned after fighting humanity. The invaders had come with arrogance. They had come with fire and steel. But they had learned what the galaxy would soon know. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was the storm, and the universe would never forget it. The war was over. Smoke still rose from the ruins of cities. The skies were scarred by the wreckage of alien ships burning as they fell. Fields were filled with the silence of battle's end. Humanity had survived, but survival had come with a price. Millions were gone. Cities lay in ruins. Families were torn apart. Yet in every corner of Earth, the same truth echoed. They had fought, they had resisted, and they had won. The alien commander's flagship drifted, broken and powerless, in the blackness of space. He stood alone on the bridge, staring into the void. His army was gone. His empire's pride shattered. He whispered to himself, How could they stand against us? But he already knew the answer. Humans had fought with something his kind could never understand: hope. Where other species surrendered, humanity endured. Where armies fell, ordinary people rose. They fought with fire, with steel, with bare hands if they had to. And even in the face of death, they refused to kneel. The commander lowered his head in defeat. His empire would remember this as the day their hunters became prey. Across the galaxy, word spread like wildfire. The invincible army had fallen. The predators of the stars had been destroyed. Other alien races, long enslaved by the Empire, listened in silence to the whispers. No one returned after fighting humanity. Fear spread through some, but hope spread through many more. If humans could defeat the strongest army in the galaxy, perhaps freedom was possible. Perhaps resistance was not madness, but destiny. In hidden colonies, slaves rose against their masters. In distant worlds, oppressed civilizations raised banners of rebellion, all because Earth had shown the way. On Earth, leaders gathered in the ruins of Geneva. Nations that once distrusted each other now stood united. There was no America or China, no Russia or Europe, no East or West. There was only humanity. A new council was formed, not to rule, but to protect. They swore that never again would Earth be divided. Never again would they bow to an outside force. The world had become something greater. Not just a planet, not just a species, but a power the galaxy could not ignore. In the streets, survivors rebuilt what had been destroyed. Children played among ruins, their laughter stronger than the scars. Soldiers who had once been ordinary workers returned home as heroes. Artists began to paint the story of the war so no one would forget the sacrifices. But more than that, people began to dream. They no longer looked at the stars with fear. They looked with determination. If the enemy had come from the skies, then the skies could no longer belong only to others. Humanity would rise. Humanity would explore. Humanity would expand. The stars, once distant, now belonged to them. Years later, the story became legend. In alien tongues, whispered across galaxies, the phrase carried weight. Do not fight the humans. None return. For some, it was a warning. For others, it was a call to rise. But for all, it was unforgettable. On a quiet hill outside a rebuilt city, a child asked his grandfather, "Why did they come here? Why us?" The old man smiled, his eyes shining with pride. "They thought we were weak. They thought we would break. but we showed them what it means to be human. The child looked up at the stars. Will they come back? The grandfather's voice was calm but firm. Maybe, but if they do, they will remember what happened the last time. They will remember that no one returned. The boy nodded, his small hands clenched into fists. For him, and for generations to come, the war was not just history. It was identity. And so the story closed not with silence, but with promise. Humanity had been tested. Humanity had suffered. But humanity had risen. And in every corner of the galaxy, one truth would forever echo in fear, in awe, and in respect. They fought humanity. But no one returned.